To access most system components, you will need to remove the rear cover. To do so, detach the 5 screws securing the rear cover to the PC. Insert a flathead screwdriver, or spudger, into the slots at the bottom of the PC, and pry the bottom of the cover up. Remove the cover. If replacing the rear cover as a part, you will need to remove the stand from the cover after removing the rear cover. There are several sets of small slots on the rear cover that snap over small tabs around the edge of the front bezel. To replace the rear cover, align the cover over the rest of the PC. Press the cover firmly until all tabs at the edges snap into place. Replace the 5 screws. To replace the stand, first remove the rear cover. Next, detach the 4 screws, securing the stand to the rear cover. Flip the rear cover over. And pull the stand off of the rear cover. There is a notch on the stand that rests against a peg on the stand bracket on the rear cover. To replace the stand, align the notch up against the peg. Flip the cover over and align the cover flush against the stand while you replace the 4 screws. To remove the hard drive from the PC, first remove the rear cover. Loosen the captive screw for the hard drive. Grasp the hard drive handle and pull the hard drive out to the side, then up and out of the PC. If replacing the hard drive, detach the 4 screws on the bottom of the cage and slide the drive out of the cage. To replace the hard drive in the cage, slide the drive into the cage until the screw holes on the bottom of the drive and the cage align. Replace the 4 screws. The hard drive cage has 4 tabs on the bottom that fit into 4 slots inside the PC. To replace the hard drive into the PC, place the tabs on the cage near their slots, then slide the hard drive sideways until secure. Press the handle down into place. Tighten the captured screw to secure the hard drive in the PC. To remove or replace system memory, first remove the rear cover. Loosen the captive screw for the EMI shield over the memory socket. Pull out the EMI shield. Next, gently pull out on the retaining lever located on each side of the SO-DIMM. The module will pop out to a 45-degree angle from the socket. The SO-DIMM module can now be pulled free. There is a small notch on one side of each SO-DIMM module. There is a small tab on one side of each SO-DIMM socket. To replace an SO-DIMM, angle the module to about 45 degrees and engage the notch on the module with the tab in the socket. Press the SO-DIMM down into place until the retaining levers snap into position over the sides of the module. To replace the EMI shield, place the tab on the bottom of the shield into its slot on the main system EMI shield and lay it into place. Tighten the screw on the EMI shield. To remove either speaker, first remove the rear cover. The speakers are separately removable. To remove a speaker, first remove its connector from the motherboard. If removing the right speaker, untape the connector from the left speaker, then disengage the right speaker connector from its cable guides on the top edge of the left speaker. Remove the right connector from the guide on the bottom of the left speaker as well. Detach the two screws for the speaker. Pull the speaker out of the unit. To replace either speaker, align the screw holes on the speaker over the standoffs on the front bezel. Replace the two screws. If replacing the right side speaker, secure the connector into its cable guides on the bottom and top edge of the left side speaker. Replace the connector to the motherboard. Note that the motherboard stencil indicates the location of the left and right speaker connectors. Also note that the connector for the right and left speakers is different between the two speakers. To remove the system fan, first remove the rear cover. Detach the system fan connector from the motherboard. Remove the 4 screws for the system fan. Pull the fan out of the unit. To replace the system fan, align the 4 holes on the fan with the 4 standoffs on the base pan. Replace the screws. Reattach the connector to the motherboard.